What's going on, guys? Welcome to Saturday, the 12th of March. It's been an interesting week. So the last video was, I don't know, right around the 1st of March when I was ripping there. Had a couple nice days, got all the ripping done. Maddie finished up the last bit when I had to take off on another field. That is really dirty. So we got ripping done. We were starting to get prepped and ready to start going across our hay fields with the harrow. And all of a sudden that 70-degree high became about a 20-degree high with snow. We had a good 2 inches of snow earlier this week. No big deal. We need the moisture. Unfortunately, because it was that cold, it didn't have a whole lot of moisture. But then, I'm back in a t-shirt now, which means we're back in the 60s. And they're talking by Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be back in the 40s with a chance of rain. Whatever. It's March in Colorado. You never know what to expect from day to day. So I wanted to catch you guys up on the shop. We've got a lot of different things going on. First of which, new lights. See all of them round guys? We are tired of, the 4-foot or I don't know if those are fluorescent, whatever. The 4-footers are getting old. They're not so bueno. That guy back there, right there, is an LED. That guy's an LED. We've had that style for 4 years or so. They're already starting to go bad on us. That one got changed immediately to one of them round ones because it was completely burnt out. And as you can tell by the dark corner in the back of the shop, that one back there is completely burnt out. So we got lights on order. Should be here first part of next week. Get this shop really bright. Next big project in here. If you've been watching my shop videos for a while, there's normally this giant tarp kind of hanging there. And then a piece of tarp going all the way across and another big tarp over there. The reason for that being was years ago, before we were scaled up to the size that we are, we used to use that 2/3 of the shop as cold storage. We would pack every square inch in here with equipment, close them curtains, and then this was the area we did all our work in. Just for reference with this tractor. Now there's plenty of room back there, but the rock box would have been pushing into the curtain, so that would have been absolute max as far in as it could go. You can see why that'd be a problem with today's equipment. For, I don't know, last 10 years, we haven't even closed that curtain. We've been using the entire shop as a work area. One downside is we put in that propane heater before we started using the whole shop, so it is not designed to heat this shop. Luckily, the oil burner hiding back there does pretty good. But I told Bart, since we had the bucket truck in here doing lights, I go, why don't we just tear out that tarp? And he agreed, so I did it real quick before he changed his mind on that one. Okay, let's talk about truck projects. So as you can see, we got Cameron's baby, the W9, the cattle truck in here. She needed some loving. 2 big problems on it. Number one, the exhaust. Between being rusted out and just old, you can see, big hole right there by my toe. This fitting would actually vibrate apart on him going down the road. And so your entire muffler here would be just hanging by the rubber cab strap thingy-majigger that goes right there. Yeah, so that was kind of a problem, a little bit of a safety problem. Finally getting it in here to get it fixed. It's just been a nightmare to get parts. Another problem, I almost said mud flaps. The fenders. Got a new set of fenders ordered because the ones that were on there were all right, but it was kind of a hodgepodge put together type thing. They fell off a couple different times, would fall off and just ride on top of these tires. You can't see marks from them anymore. There used to be, one of the tires had these grooves in it from a bolt, from when it fell forward, bolt wore a channel in it. So yeah, it's just getting some loving. And this makes truck number 6 through the shop. So that's all. I mean, we've got the Freightliner that's on the grinder, but it doesn't get that much loving because it doesn't get that much use. So that little T800 that we did a whole bunch of work on, we just got it back from the body shop. It is ready to go. Hector's truck is sitting outside, the green T600. We've been waiting on this wire harness here. Now that it's here, we can put that together and it'll be ready to go. Cameron's usual truck, his little white T600, it just got an overhaul, and then he brought it in, did the air-to-air and all that stuff like we've been doing to all of them. It's ready to go. Aaron's truck, the orange and white T600, the Navajo as we usually call it, because it used to be a Navajo Truck Lines truck. It's good to go-ish. If we have time, we want to get it back in here and do a bunch of work to the wet kit. That's the hydraulics that drive our trailers, the chain floors and all that. It's got a lot of leaks on it. Never really liked how it was set up. We want to fix it right, but it's one of those things that works fine. It's just, it needs some attention. With the trucks getting wrapped up, it's time to start focusing on farm equipment. If you notice, the chopper's gone. We got this weird void that we've been staring at for months, and now that it's not here, it's weird. That is 99.9% of the way done. We're waiting on one last sensor, and it's something we would have had a long time ago, but I finally just remembered the problem I was having at the end of the year. So Bart ordered the sensor, but because we wanted to get the bucket truck in here to work on lights, clean up the floor a little, we just went ahead and took it out. We'll bring it back with the pickup head probably in a couple of weeks, get started on those projects. So that guy's, it's essentially done. First tractor up is 245R. This is kind of my baby, the planter tractor, although Hector's kind of kicking me out of this tractor lately. Just doing basic fluids, filters. Out of the 9 filters that this thing requires, 6 of them were here, the other 3 hopefully in 2 weeks, because everything is 2 weeks out. It's weird how that started 2 years ago. Everyone started using the phrase 2 weeks, and it's still being used today. Huh. Funny how that works. Anyways, it's nothing that's going to prevent us from using this tractor. We've got some stuff coming to rebuild hydraulic number 2 there. As you can see, it's kind of seeping oil. Been making a mess. That's why there's so much dirt on the ground there, is from oil seeping out of it. So we'll get that guy out of here. When the parts show up, great, we'll get it back in and fix it. But when we get that guy out, we're going to bring in the big horse, the 360. It's got, what all is wrong with it? Few O-ring things we need to change, and then this giant guy. So I don't know what engineer John Deere came up with this idea, but they seriously need a kick in the nuts. And I'm sorry, but this sort of stuff pisses a guy off. So this end hooks up at the radiator. Is this an oil cooler line? Yeah, oil cooler line. So this end hooks up by the radiator clear in front. Goes up on top of the engine, rides the engine the entire way down, gets to the cab, turns, makes a 90 down the front side of the cab into a valve block, we'll say, that you can't even see. So this tractor is completely different. But just for reference, so that flexible hose would hook up about here, and then just goes up and rides the top of the engine with about 7 other hoses that are all that same shape like that. Well, this one's got the steel hoses back here at least. So yeah, you have to take all this hood stuff off to be able to get this out of here. But it wraps around, comes down, and disappears back in there. Yeah, they're a lot of fun to change, let me tell you. And the whole time you're messing with these clamps and everything, you're praying you don't just tap that glass wrong and shatter it. Because I'm sure if you shatter a windshield, they'll probably tell you, we can get one in about 2 weeks. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. That's what's going on in the shop. Hopefully later this week, be back in the fields. Get that harrow going on some hay ground. Get you guys some video of that, because it's one of my favorite jobs. I mean, you're 70 foot wide going 10 mile an hour. Doesn't take very long to cover some acres. But yeah, I'm getting excited. This is going to be the time of year I really love, when we get back in the fields. So either way, guys, talk to you later.